Yeah, defend the stream. Yeah, right now, most of my computer is mostly just full of it's mostly just it's mostly what do you put it? I've captured for B-roll and such along with the VODs. But I think that's what I'm going to do after the stream. I'm gonna just organize all of my stuff. Organize all my stuff, go into my VOD channel, organize that all in the playlists. So while I'm still basically just gonna dump all my VODs and videos there. I can at least keep it organized. I'm gonna organize all that. Gonna organize all that. Gonna remove everything I don't absolutely need or can't like easily get later. For example, like any Pokemon related assets, except for the ones I made specifically for the video, I can probably get rid of. And like all the B-roll and stuff, probably only keep the ones I can. Probably only keep the ones I like I like really need to use. So like the Pokemon XD stuff will take priority. Okay. Let me get something a little better. Yeah, perfect, right there. Right there. Oh man, I wonder how much of that I lost. Hopefully at the bit I lost. Hopefully it was just the middle of this one. Or it wasn't that long at all. Oh, but if I just lost like the middle of this one, like a few floors, then that's fine. That's fine. It's mostly the endings, mostly the beginning and like end of the floor that's really the important parts. Yeah, figure that out. Clean up my PC, make sure everything like that, and clean my turtle cage. Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Awesome. Boom, 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 boom. Humming shots. Let's get some aim assist on this. Yeah, it definitely does. Especially since I'm streaming on since the way I stream on OBS now is I basically have two. Basically, I'm getting two recordings per stream. One that is me streaming, talking, all that stuff, the VOD, and then one that is just pure gameplay, which you can use for footage. But that's what's taking up most of the space on my computer right now, so that's probably what I need to fix. It's probably just the part I need to fix. Make sure I can. Yeah. I'll just do what I said earlier with uploading pure gameplay along with the bot stuff onto my channel. Onto that channel. Okay, but hey, time for my favorite boss again, who well, most definitely, which we'll probably will see again. Probably will see again. I'll make sure of it. Yeah, but it's my favorite boss of the lineup. Yeah. Nice, that's cool. All right, almost got it. Yeah. All right, one more to go. I probably also need to uninstall any unnecessary launches and stuff like that. Yeah, it's so annoying that it's so annoying whenever you buy a game on Steam, but you need to use their company's launcher in order to play it. Like, fuck, like that's so annoying. Like that's so annoying. Bethesda does it. Activision, I think so. At least I recently learned that they do it. It's so annoying. Okay, where the heck are the robots I'm supposed to kill? It kind of sound like I'm talking about a FNAF game. Where are the robots where are the robots that are supposed to kill me? I really like FNAF. FNAF. At some point, I'm definitely gonna have to do like a full. I might definitely have to do definitely a full playthrough of the entire series on the channel and pop and probably a retrospective video on the games or maybe my own theory. In fact, I don't have much experience with the game itself, with the games themselves, outside of Secret of the Mimic and Security Breach, Kid Breach, but I do still love the series. I love the series, and yeah, I've been watching a lot of FNAF. I've watched a lot of FNAF videos recently. No, it's just fun. I guess it's just fun. I don't need to explain myself. It's just fun. I enjoy it. I like watching FNAF theories on theories I don't believe in or theories I don't explain. I think it's just fun to watch and fun to think about. It's fun to think about the series, try to figure out the lore and story, or like see like different ideas. Back when I first, for a good while, up until I want to say pre-Security Breach, I mostly just stuck to only watching MadPat for FNAF videos and just taking his word as gospel. But I was in Security Breach. I started watching more people. I started watching and seeing other people's perspectives and ideas on what's happening in the Final Fantasy story, and I'm really happy I did. It really does open my mind and it's just a lot of fun looking at what other people are saying, talking about it in the comments. It's great. Okay, when I make my own game, I'm definitely gonna have like I'm definitely gonna have some lore in it. I want to have an idea of like a story and stuff. I want the full-on story I want to tell. So, though the thing is, though the trick is, in my opinion, the trick is, and I feel like a lot of people don't get this, is that you gotta make is that you're basically making you basically need to make two stories here. So you need to have one that the player can, that the general audience will understand, and then one that the fearless will understand. Basically, you have understand. In my opinion, a good game with lore, a good game with lore has lore as the secondary output when it comes to story. Just by playing the game itself casually, without knowing, just playing the game itself casually with no other input from anyone else or anything else, like a book or something, that alone should be enjoyable, memorable, and entertaining and satisfying. But for those who are dedicated enough to look deeper and who want to understand more, that is where the lore should be. It'd be for those who want to get more out of the story than the surface level. Than the surface level or what the game outright tells you up front. And I feel like a lot of FNAF fan games and a lot of FNAF fan games and other horror media kind of gets that a bit wrong and have the lore be the only story being told. But when you really need to have a balance of it. Also another thing is, why does it always have to be horror? Oh, like why does every like lore dense game, like every lore dense game like this is always a horror game? Honestly, I'm kind of sick of it. Like I still enjoy them. I still enjoy them. I still enjoy watching the videos, but I feel like, no, yeah, I'm gonna keep my membucks. I have so many of them. I feel like it would be very interesting to have a non-horror game. To have a game that isn't horror based or isn't like actually horror based, like a game that starts out normal but then becomes scary. No, a game that doesn't become scary. It just has a deep lore story that isn't necessarily horror themed. I feel like a lot of people are also in that rut too. That if you want to make a game like that, it has to be horror. When in reality, it absolutely does not. Now, like my idea, like the games I want to make one day, I want to make two. I want my series to be a 2D action platformer similar to like Mega Man. It will have, yeah, it might have like creepy moments or it might have creepy moments or horror inspirations, but at its core, it would definitely not be a horror game series. Maybe one day if I have the time, maybe one day if I give myself the time, maybe I can make something. Make something simple, but make something that's simple to play. Make like a simple game, but like give it that deep lore. Try to fill that niche of people who want the lore and who love searching for the lore and stuff, but people who don't like horror games. Because horror games in general is a very niche genre. I mean, if you look at even the mainstream horror games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, they don't do that well. Like compared to like other games like Zelda, Mario. I don't know. Those are the only two that come to mind right now for some reason. Splatoon. Compared to other games that are more mainstream, they do a lot worse because horror is just inherently niche genre of content. Oh, it's a lot more mainstream now. Oh, hey, got a follower. What's up? I can't quite tell. Thank you. Got email. Yeah, I got a follower. Thank you so much, WashKid05. But yeah, I would love. Yeah, what was I? Yeah, horror is a very niche genre, and it's a lot more popular now thanks to horror games and the horror games and just a lot more horror media. Daggy09. Oh, the DC username. What's Discord? Well, cool. Cool. Got it. Yeah, I feel like there's a market there that's not being catered to. I definitely have to think about that. Like, how can I cater to that market? Maybe I could start. Maybe I could be the one to get that ball rolling. I do not want to do the H-shaped floor. So we'll do this one. Okay. Okay, well, 2 more floors to go. So, and then we unlock our final weapon. Haven't yet. Honestly, I gotta say, luck is a very fun stat to spec into in this game. Especially with like all the bombs and all the items that spawn. Well, it just feels very satisfying. And yeah, look at all those items. And it feels very satisfying, and it is also very effective. Especially those little bombs. Really good at cleaning up a crowd. You get a crowd control. That's them. Yeah. Running coverage? No. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with it. The penultimate floor. I think an RPG would also be too niche. You said, well, it would just be like putting a hat on it. Look. It could be another niche on niche. Yes, I do love RPGs. Because I gotta play more RPGs for the channel. Then I know I started playing Xenoblade 2, but I kind of stopped. I did hear a rumor that we might get a Xenoblade 2 Definitive. That we might get Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition. Which isn't because someone had a like one of the voice actors had a credit for Xenoblade on Xenoblade 2026. And overall, well, I don't think that's a guarantee. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a guarantee because well, it could be like, and because they could bring back an actor. Actors doesn't really matter. And they can bring back actor to play a different role. Well, but I would not be upset if that is the case. Guys, I love Xenoblade 2. Anyway, story time. Smolix, what gives? Why do you gotta be so... Oh, you're here. Again. Okay, time for the fight. If you win, you may have permission to reconfigure your pilot. Seems kind of pleased with itself. Yeah. Like, guess we're fighting again. Round... Whatever. Let's go, 8. Round 11, actually. Tentacle Troublemaker. Tentacled Troublemaker. Overload. As cool as as cool as Xenoblade 2 Definitive Edition would be, and I would be happy with it. I would also be a little disappointed because I would also be a little disappointed and worried because it would be two remakes or remasters in a row. Whoa, and last time that happened for a Nintendo second party company, well, that's how we lost the Mario and Luigi series. And that series went dormant for a few years, so I do hope it's something new. I do hope something new. Be it Xenoblade 4, Xenoblade Chronicles 4, or something, or a brand new Xeno series, something, or whatever. The only way I wouldn't be... Now, if they somehow managed to get their hands on the Xenogears and Xenosaga licenses, and decide to remake those games, then I wouldn't be worried because that would just be awesome. Awesome. I would love for the Xenosaga games to come back and be actually obtainable and playable. Well, I say playable, not in like the bad games. Yeah, they're probably great games. They're just incredible. It's just the only way to really play them is via emulation because of how hard they are to find. Fine, because of how rare they are. Only releasing on the PS2, never getting a re-release, and being very rare on top of all that. Out of all the Xenosaga trilogy, the only one I own physically is Xenosaga 1. When I think Xenosaga 2 and I think Xenosaga 3 is like over $100 on eBay. And don't even get me started on like Xenosaga the Pied Piper, the mobile game released on old mobile phones before the iPhone. I don't know. I don't know what Molotov doing next, but I'm very much looking forward to whatever it is. One more reconfigured palette on the books. So, are you leaving so soon? Easy there. That wasn't the last palette. We need to reconfigure, so you'll see us again. But you better hope not. I'll definitely win next time. I can't wait to. Never mind. Forget it and go. All right. And with that, how many we got? We had a pretty big score that time. 375. And with that, we've obtained the final 3 keys. And with and the final palette. Eighth palette. Lager turns into 8th palette? I did not expect that. Kind of weird that your palette was the lockers themselves, 8. But this is the last one, yeah? We just gotta reconfigure it and we're done here. Wait, something's odd about your palette 8. It seems to be a bit resistant to hacking. In fact, it won't actually activate the few color chips you can set. Oh. Huh, that's for the whole once into the usual plan. I like it. Alright, Dave. Let's check Marina to see if you can live without any of those hacks. Then we get your palette to the top of the spire, no sweat. Yep, that's the gimmick. The final palette, it's a classic splash shot. But our palette but we can only have a set number of color chips. I think the max we can have at one time is 6. It's 6, so I could be wrong. I think the interesting thing to do would be to just upgrade right now and then go in with what we got and see what we can do. Yeah, max out the Membucks worlds because I like money. And armor cover went up. Yes. Honestly, it's kind of weird now going back to the classic splash shot after completing every other pilot. Thankfully, every other weapon in the game. So yeah. Oh wait, I forgot about the field guide. Okay. Hey, so we have the ability to use 6 color chips. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how far we can make it with just this. Oh, but we also have the ability to skip floors? That's cool. Yeah, no, look at that. Only 6. We gotta be really specific with what we use. Ink damage close will definitely be useful. Ink damage overall would be good, but I think doing it up close would be a bit better. Yep, and we got sweep. Yep, and those are our last 2 bosses. Oh, also if you notice, instead of keys for final mission, we got, I think, dev diary entries, something like that. That as our final reward. Well, so your reward for completing this final palette is a little bit of it is the remaining bits of lore, which I think is pretty good. Pretty good, especially if that's what you're here for. I got one. Nice. Nice. Let's do a quick reset. And yeah, main damage. Yeah, I think I'm mostly just I think I'm pretty much just gonna do all power. All power, and then after this, and then once we fill up the pallet, I think all the other ones we'll find would be pills. Pills. Which might make you think this is a really good one to grind pills with. And I would not be surprised if that was the intention of the developers. But overall, I feel like just doing a like up to 5 floor one, spending all your money at the vending machine, and then going, and then resend the one is better. Live company. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah. Yeah, just saturated wood palette. Also the easiest set of palettes to no, it's not set of palettes. Also the easiest palette to get a full saturation on. Get a full color saturation. I really like how the kits for each I really like how the 7 special for each character does represent, for a lot of characters, represent the origin game. Origin game, like this one being specifically like the Octo splatter shot. Splatter shot using the splashdown, which was introduced in Splatoon 2. But that was all with the money. That was with the money, my bad. Firing speed. Alright, I got a plan. I'm gonna win this fight. All we gotta do is shoot faster. I love that. I love that joke. It's such a dumb joke. Like, how do we win? I got it. We shoot them faster. And boop. Bum, bum, bum. And last but not least, poison or main piercing? Poison egg. And now, from now on, I think the rest should be pills. Gotcha. Come on. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Jimmy. Yep. All the remaining ones are just pills. Well, you're getting the number depending on the difficulty of the floor. Oh, we could just skip all the floors by the looks of it, actually. If we wanted to. I got that. And I heard like a weird sound. Probably nothing. Oh. Come on, yay. Come on, there we go. Yeah, alright. If Kelly isn't worried, it's probably nothing to worry about. You can open my door. Oh, okay. So, okay, it costs money to skip floors. Alright. No. I will do this one. Now, buff. Alright, nice. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. I am fully upgraded right now, so right now the challenge is just to make it through with these minimal upgrades. Need minimal upgrades and only upgrades. But it being balanced out with the ability to skip floors is really good. The thing is, I don't know if the price increases. No, the price probably does increase. Either the higher we go or the more you do it. So definitely best to still play out the early game floors, but to maybe do some skipping once you reach the higher ranks. I would say it'd probably be safe to skip around like number 25. But whenever you feel it's getting too much, you'll want to try to find a boss and win. Speaking of boss, one more time, old friend. Nah. I tried to go for a triple. Nope. Nah. Out of ink. Now my biggest problem throughout this entire playthrough of each mode. I'm out of ink. You would think it would be better conserving my ink by now, but eh. I mean, it could be worse at conserving it, but oh, come on, please. I wasn't even saying that just so they can die, just so the ink, just so the stingrays will stop. No, look at it, it's pretty. Oh, it's so pretty and a different model. Yeah, it's a model 3D. Look at that. So cool. Yeah, it's why there wasn't that cutscene to over. Yeah, look at that. 500. 500, and that was just from reaching the double digits. Yeah, so never mind. We might not even be able to really skip that much. That also could mean each floor on the first floor would cost 100, which would be cool. Would be cool if the budget does like only increases at the boss line, like baseline, but boss fights. Yeah, we get it. Hmm. Yeah, here since yeah here yeah here is really just gotta focus on like what the floor is instead of what you get for it, since no matter what you're not getting that many pills in each floor. Floors are really so really all there to worry about is just the amount of membucks you get and the amount of and the challenge that there is. It's kind of a jump. No, but it technically was. If I did make a FNAF video, what would it even be about? I don't know. I honestly don't really know. No, I have a few videos that like I knew exactly like what I would make a video on. Not exactly how I would do it, but like if I ever made a Socko 6 video, I would definitely focus a lot on aspects that are rarely talked about. Probably go over like how I think the game is. They're not good, but not that bad, and how. And honestly, the main reason why Socko 6 was seen as so bad, is because at the time it really was that bad. Like I feel like we have seen so many worse games by so many companies and so many different series, like base cyberpunk on release, Mind's Eye, Assassin's Creed Unity, so many other games that are just glitchier made, or the glitchier worsely made. Yeah, worsely made, worse. But Songo 6 was really like, even before Songo 6 we've had worse games like ET for the Atari 2600 or Superman 64. And while those games are bad, Songo 6 was really the first case we saw of a major series, a major brand in the gaming industry failing of at least to that extent. And at least the Superman and ET, those were licensed titles. Sonic is a character that was born as a video game and will die as a video game. At least I hope. Imagine if the Sonic series ended and the last product they made for it was a TV show or something. And the last product they made for it was the comic. That would be tragic. But overall, that's the point I'm trying to get at. If Sonic 06 was released today, like let's say Sonic 06 and Sonic Forces trade places, it would still be seen as a really bad game. But I feel like it would just be another to throw in the pile. I think it would just be more like another game to throw in the pile of bad games that come out like every year. Where in Sonic 06's case, it was the first. It has seen everything. And yeah, if I made a Sonic 06 video, that's probably the angle I would go at. Along with going into depth. I'm not going into detail on like the game design of Sonic 06. And I try to figure out like the original intention. The original intention of everything and how like try to figure out like how the game was supposed to work. And what made it fail. Well, instead of going at it like a traditional angry reviewer or something like that, go at it in a more analytical lens. And then take some time to focus on stuff like the DLC. Because I do have the DLC for Sonic 06. I bought the game twice. I bought the game twice. I have it on PS3, but I also have it on Xbox 360 with all the DLC. See, and honestly, I just honestly the day I did that, I just imagined. I wonder what that intern was thinking. When he was, I like to imagine there was just like an intern at a computer. You know, he got a notification and was like, "Who the hell is buying Sonic 06 in the year 2021?" And all its DLCs. See, that's how recently I bought it. That's how recently I bought it. But it wasn't even on sale. I think it was cheaper. They didn't make it cheaper, so I think it was like $20 for the main game. But overall, I still say it was worth it, especially as an investment. Meant to one day talk about and play on the channel. But I'll definitely say that for like a milestone. I gotta think of more milestones. I gotta think of reasons and goals for my viewers to try and get more views and try and get more followers and such. But I feel like it's kind of hard to start that because at this point, I don't really have an audience, so I don't really know what people would want. So I'm gonna have to think about. And we're out of here. Nice. All right. 13 seconds updated. Let's go. And one more time for good measure. The elusive border boss. The pinging monocle. Still don't quite know how to pronounce the name. Also another weapon that Yeah, overall multiplayer weapons are just probably just the best for this fight. And the worst are definitely like the brush and the wall, stuff like that. And got it. One down. Oh, what? Really? I never noticed that. I honestly never noticed that more bumpers appeared. I have fought this boss at least 24 times. Well, not 24 times, but I think, no, yeah, probably at least around 24 times. And I've never noticed the increase in bumpers on the second phase. Wow. Like the side decrease, of course I've noticed. But I've never noticed the increase in bumpers. Crazy. Yeah. I feel like work at like my actual job where I get paid for, has been a little slow lately, but I think that's mostly because we actually did open a second store somewhere. We have opened the Sita. You know what? Yeah, no, we did. We opened the Sita location. But hopefully with a lot less child murder. Hopefully. But anyway, yeah, our store's been badly pretty slow these last few weeks. These last 2 weeks, and I think that is probably because of the new store. So it's in a completely different side of town. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Go with that, and yeah, I would not be surprised if some of the customers who would used to come to our store go there now. Go now because it's more convenient. And because of that, these last 2 weeks have been a little slower than you. Have been a little slower. Which honestly makes sense. Which honestly makes sense and shouldn't be a problem, as long as both stores do roughly the same. I would do roughly the same amount. Looking at it as a business owner. Minnesota. If everyone's going to if you're gonna open up 2 stores, then theoretically, you'll split. Then not fair, but you'll probably end up splitting half of your customers. Customers that you've had that, like, okay. Thinking at it like a manager. If you're gonna open a second store, it's going to split your customers. If you had any customers that lived in the new that live closer to where the new store is, they're gonna prefer going to the new store because it'll be closer. Because it'll be closer to them. It'll be more convenient. So your previous store might see less customers. But the customers that go to the older store, but the customers that so the older store will get less customers now that the new store is open. But the newer store will not only get the customers that previously came to the other store, but they'll also get the customers that come, but they'll also get new customers. Well, on average, I feel like the old store will probably retain the same amount of customers, probably keep the same customers who's always been around. Get less of them, than some of them will go to the new store. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of yapping the yap. But like, if, let's say on average you get 40 customers a day, which is generally what the store near me does. 40 customers a day. If you open a new store somewhere else, then general new store somewhere else, and then 10 customers from the old store might go there instead. But given it's in a new location, you might get like 20 brand new customers who wouldn't have gone to the old store no matter what. Meaning as a whole, you haven't increased your. So meaning as a whole, while both stores will be doing less numbers, while the original store will be doing less, will have less customers than it did beforehand. As a whole, both stores will have more customers than you did with just having the one store be open. I think that's probably what's going on right now. And I hope it is. And I hope it is, because I don't hope it is, because I like this job and I want to keep it. I like this job. I want to keep it, and yeah. What else? Friday. I need to decide if I'm even gonna stream on Friday. Yeah. On Friday, because that's gonna be a very busy day with my mom finally coming back. So I think I might have to just skip Friday's stream now that I think about it. It sucks because I want to play more XD. Because that game's just fun. I'll think about it tomorrow. I'll think about it tomorrow. No, but By the end of this weekend, yeah, by the end of this weekend, and I should have the Star Fox video done. Yeah, done, which would be great. Which would be great. Means I have next month's video done and ready to go before the month even began. Yeah, and I gotta figure out what day to upload it. You know what? Drug it. I don't absolutely need the extra points. Yeah, the best part about the specials is that they act as the ink refills. So just activating them refills all your ink. Also works as a great get off me tool. I wonder if the other store does deliveries as well. And no, I won't talk about that here. But hey, at this point, you know what? At this point, let's just skip the last 2 floors. We don't need any more pearls. As you know, we might as well go to the vending machine. Vending machine, just get more pearls. As soon as I said it, like, we don't need more pearls. But I get more anyway. Yeah. Heck yeah. That's it. You know what? We're gonna spend the rest of our money on pearls. And Inkstorm. I like that. And Inktorm, my favorite sub. My favorite special, I mean. Yeah! Pearls! 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 Okay, yeah. Alright. Let's finish this last one. Once we considered 8 pallets, we can finally rest easy. 8, Pearl, Oct, I owe you all so much. You saved it for... Yo, save it for when we win. But we gotta reconfigure 8 pilots. Time to go, 8. Let's do it. The control room. I wonder what, I wonder what changes the amount of award we get from this final one. At last, you finally brought me that fact. We're gonna reconfigure 8 pallet, and then there's nothing you can there's nothing you can do about it. After that pallet, it'll be over. I gotta try real hard this time. 8, take that pallet of yours and come at me with everything you have, please. We're gonna settle this whole thing for good. Last order, Overloader. The final battle. Let's play. Let's play. Sadly, same fight as ever before. Well, burst, same at the second. Well, burst, same at the second. In a second, despite everything, the only thing that's really changed is just all physical abilities. The fight itself is still the same. You know, John D is a bit of a disappointment. It would have been nice if the final boss had a drastic change. Well, it would have been cool, but also really infuriating, actually. Actually, yeah, would have been hard on the player because the player would spend so long expecting the same boss. Then they just get here with the hardest palette just to lose to a cheap shot. They had no way to know. They legit lose to a boss they had no experience with. Like, I kind of get it, but that would have been cool. That would have been cool. I'm surprised there wasn't like a secret. I'm surprised this game doesn't really have a secret super boss. Super boss and it's like Inner Agent 3. Wait, wait, it's just Alterna. Yeah, Octopus. It's just Alterna and this, which is much easier than. Which is so much easier than any of that. Like, we've had a very chill run this one. Like, heck, we've done this on our first try. We've done this on our first try and only failed once. That's easier than. This has been an easier run than some of the previous pilots we've done. And then that has a lot to do with all the upgrades we've gotten. The upgrades do a lot and help out a lot. Definitely the main reason why you keep them on instead of using the whiskey rewards. Because they do help a lot, and it's overall better to just get the finish runs with points and similar with monochrome palettes and a lot of points than it is to just get a lot of pearls or yeah, whatever. You get what I mean. You know what I mean? I've explained myself enough. Let's win this. Here we go. One last tentacle orb. One last tentapola. Tentapole. Ba, 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 ba. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Consider yourself doomed. And that should do it. Congrats, 8. We finally reconfigured your palette. Bet you breathe easier now. So that's it, huh? You mean you beat me? I mean, you folks beat me fair and square. You know, it's gotten real. No, it's gotten real when even Smolix is throwing in the towel. The members can be a place to save Octolinks like Marina wanted. So much for the dreams of everyone who wanted a place for order. But hey, sticking around at the big boss of the Spire won't be so bad. Nah, Smolix. I've always get a little thrilled when you come up here again and again. Hope your lives go get in the real world, please. And if you want to make me smile sometime, come back and play with me. No, he's a nice guy now. And there it is, 8's palette. We got the title, Reminiscent Mediator. I mean, we configured all of the palettes. This really wraps up everything. Way to go, 8. The real world got nothing to worry about. But maybe we should go say hi to Smolix every now and then. And now that, and as our final reward, we get these. We get the ability to buy all of the banners, all of the different gears, and all the stickers and decorations. That it? Yeah. Yeah. Every pallet has been done. And every time, I don't think I showed this, but every time you beat a pallet, Smolix lets you know what you get a little message from Smolix letting how they feel about it. And the 3 mysterious dev diaries that goes over. That's all from Oct. Okay, definitely recommend giving them a read on your own time. And yeah, with that, that's the end of Octoc's side order and the end of Splatoon 3 single player. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun going back through the entire game again. And again, re-experiencing this whole DLC definitely gave me a lot more of appreciation for everything. I feel like even with games you dislike, in my opinion, I feel like you should give them a replay every now and then. Especially if a game means a lot to you, positively or negatively. Because sometimes you just kind of forget how much the game means to you. And playing them again you can either find a new appreciation for it and love it even more, or maybe find a new reason to dislike the game even more. I don't have like an exact science for that idea, but I just think, but we play games every now and then. Don't always play something new. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yeah, on the Game World 64, and I'll see you guys next game. Bye bye.